Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Association of Independent Maryland and DC Schools College Fair. We're very excited to have you participating in this event tonight. We have some fantastic schools with us here today. Each will have just about 6 minutes to share more about their great school, but we'll be around. Please stick around for the entire session. Ask any questions you want of a particular school or even questions in general. My name is Greg. I'll be your facilitator. And before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. Please use the Q&A button on your screen to type any questions for our presenters at any time. And this is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to check back at strivescan.com on the website for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/AIMS, AIMS, and I'll put that address into the chat. I'd now like to turn over to our first presenter, Stevens Institute of Technology.
Thank you, Greg. I'm going to share my screen with you all so we can go through a short presentation. My name is Megan Highland, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Stevens Institute of Technology. Stevens is located in Hoboken, New Jersey, so right outside of New York City. We're a smaller school, about 4,000 students, so we welcome in about 1,000 students into each of our incoming classes. What that looks like is an average class size of about 25 students with a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So if you're looking for a small school, we might be a good fit for you. In terms of our areas of study, the 30+ different offerings that we have are listed here on this page. We are primarily a STEM school, so focusing on areas of study related to engineering, math, science, computer science, cybersecurity. We do also have a business school though, and that proximity to New York lends very nicely to study those different areas. We have humanities and arts programs as well. Some of our most popular majors within this school being our music and technology program and our visual arts and technology program. What I'll highlight just about majors when it comes to Stevens is that if you do decide to apply to the institution, we do ask you to select your first and second choice program on your application. Because if you're offered admission to Stevens, you're offered admission to a specific major and you begin in that academic program. It's not set in stone. You have 2 years to officially declare your area of study at the school, but we do get you started in something right away to figure out very quickly, yes, this is what I like, let's continue on this path, or no, perhaps not, let me change my major to another area. Once you get to the institution as well, you can take courses across the different schools and colleges, the different academic programs. We also have accelerated bachelor's, master's degree programs. So there is choice available for you, but you start off kind of thinking about what it is that you want to explore first and go from there. I mentioned that we're located in Hoboken, New Jersey, and you can see an aerial shot of our campus here with the proximity to New York City. Our students are just a short bus ride, train ride away from New York and all the social, cultural, and professional opportunities that it offers. Hoboken itself, though, is a city as well, but it's a smaller city. It's just about a mile by a mile. So if you're looking for more of a neighborhood feel to your city experience, where you become comfortable very quickly, but still have this tremendous access, we might be a good fit as well. Our campus, though, is traditional in the sense that you come up through gates with the academic quad, residence hall, library, academic buildings, but again, entirely open to Hoboken and then that access to New York. Stevens does provide housing all 4 years for our students. The first 2 years you're living on campus. We have 7 first-year residence halls that students have always lived in, and we're very excited to be opening up our brand new University Center complex this fall where our entire sophomore class will live. So the first 3 floors will just be more student life space, newer student life space for students, another dining center, another fitness facility, but then 2 residential towers for the sophomore class. Then junior and senior year, if you want to continue to receive housing through the institution, Stevens leases apartments in the city of Hoboken on your behalf. So you're still considered a resident of the institution, but you're getting your housing in the city provided to you by Stevens. Again, being just a mile by a mile, all of these apartments are walkable to campus, so no one is far away by any means. Students can, of course, choose to live off campus on their own as well. That's an option too. You're not required to be a resident of the institution at any point in time. One of the things that really draws students to Stevens are the opportunities for professional practice. A lot of our students really want to obviously engage in hands-on work inside the classroom, but they also want to apply that theory to practice, get that real-world experience, build their resumes, figure out what it is they do and do not like to do. We're 14th in the nation when it comes to return on investment for our students, and we have a 97% placement rate within 6 months of graduation, with an average starting salary of over $75,000 a year. We're 9th in the nation for career placement, with over 1,000 companies recruiting our students each year. They're gaining these professional experiences over time that lend to these really strong outcomes through things like internships, which are open to all majors at our institution. Every student can pursue an internship program, and about 40% do that. Those are those traditional summer experiences between your academic years. We also have cooperative education at Stevens. Co-op, though, is major specific, so it's only for engineering, math, science, computer science, and cybersecurity program students. Co-op takes your time at Stevens to 5 years. You're doing the first year and the 5th year in the traditional way, taking full-time fall and spring semester classes. And then the 3 years in between, you're alternating between going to school for a semester and working full-time for a semester as well. So it extends your time a bit, but you're still only completing 8 undergraduate semesters, still only paying tuition for 8 undergraduate semesters. Internships and co-ops are also paid experiences, so our students find this helpful as well as they're going about their college experience. We have about 20% of students participating in research as well. This can be faculty-led research where you're working with them in their labs, on their projects, or student-led research through summer programs as well. In terms of applying to Stevens, we do use the Common Application. So if you get to that point, that's good news because lots of schools use the Common App. The only essay that we require is the one personal statement that's already a part of the Common Application. We, of course, need your transcript, and we are looking at specific math and science classes in addition to all of your coursework when evaluating your transcript. But do take a look at our website at our recommended coursework section because we do, again, list some specific math and science coursework we want to see depending on your chosen area of interest. We require 2 letters of recommendation, one from a counselor, one from a teacher. We were test optional for the past 2 years, and we will make our announcement this coming May as to whether or not we will remain test optional for fall 2023. We have early decision and regular decision deadlines at Stevens. Early decision is that binding agreement. If you apply early decision to Stevens, you're saying, if I'm admitted, I will come because we are your #1 choice school. Most students, though, do ultimately apply regular decision to Stevens. That deadline is January 15th, and the students who applied regular decision this past year, very recently, found out about their admission decisions from Stevens. Students are automatically considered for merit-based aid just by applying to the institution. The only merit-based scholarship that we do require a separate application for is the First Robotics Scholarship. So if you are a part of that program at your school, you will want to submit that scholarship separately, but every other merit-based aid award that we provide, you're automatically considered for. Need-based aid does require the submission of the FAFSA and CSS profile. And lastly, we do have a pre-college program at our school. So these are 1 to 2 week residential experiences on our campus. You come to our campus, you live in our residence halls, you eat in our dining facilities, you take our academic modules, helps you get to know Stevens a little bit more, but also helps you through that college search process. And here's just our quick contact information. I'll answer some of the questions in the Q&A and turn it over to my colleagues. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. We'd now like to ask Clarkson University to present.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Miner, and I am one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admission at Clarkson University. Can everyone see my screen okay? All right, let's take that as a yes. So, like I said, I am from Clarkson University. We are located in Potsdam, New York. We are 30 minutes away from the Canadian border and an hour away from the Adirondack Park. We are about 2 hours north of Syracuse in the US, and then Montreal and Ottawa are the 2 closest big cities to us in Canada because of how close we are to the border. A lot of students will have their passports, and you may take trips over there for classes and things like that. We have about 3,300 undergraduate students at Clarkson with an average class size of 25 to 35 students and a 10-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. We have over a 640 wooded acre campus for things like cross-country skiing, snowshoe trailing, mountain biking. We also have a Racket River and the Canoe House. We're also one of 4 colleges in the Associated Colleges of St. Lawrence Valley. The schools that are part of that are SUNY Potsdam, St. Lawrence, and SUNY Canton. Each school is a little different in what they're looking for students. St. Lawrence, more liberal arts-based. SUNY Potsdam, more music and arts. SUNY Canton has a strong nursing program. And then we are a stronger STEM institution. But between those 4 universities, there's about 13 to 15,000 undergraduate students within the area. So it's kind of a unique opportunity to attend a small university, but also get that big school feel because Potsdam, New York is really a college town. One of our largest school, our School of Engineering, here are some of our majors and minors listed here. We're one of the top 10 engineering colleges in the US by USA Today, and top 20 best values, great schools, great prices by US News and World Reports. So you'll see we have a wide range of majors and concentrations. Aeronautical, which is actually aerospace engineering now. Mechanical engineering is our largest major, and then civil engineering will round out our top 3 largest majors in the School of Engineering. We also have a business school. You'll notice here a lot of our programs are interdisciplinary. That's because we want you guys to be very prepared in those programs. Top 10 undergraduate business schools in New York State by College Choice. Top 25 best value online MBA programs as well. We do have a 4+1 option for our business students to pursue as well if they're interested. School of Arts and Sciences has our widest range of majors. We have liberal arts in this school as well, liberal arts, humanities, as well as the sciences like biology, chemistry, biomolecular science as well. We also have an education program and a pre-education track for students that are interested in that as well. We're one of the 25 colleges with the highest paid graduates by Money and Career Sheet. We also have the Institute for a Sustainable Environment, very popular program where we're located because we're so close to Adirondack Park. There are great research opportunities available to our students to pursue up here. A lot of those majors are listed here as well. We also have a pre-health sciences program with some direct entry options in occupational therapy, physical therapy, and physician assistant studies. We also offer pre-med, pre-dentistry, as well as pre-pharmacy and pre-optometry, as well as others. Here are some of the resources that are available to students at Clarkson University. Student Success, Diversity, and Inclusion Office. We also offer first-year advising. This is one of the biggest things that we do at Clarkson. So when you come to Clarkson, you get an academic advisor and then one CU Connect mentor. So you will have 2 advisors technically in that first year. Academic advisor will be someone in your major that is there to help you schedule your classes, make sure you're on track academically for your major to graduate on time. That CU Connect mentor is really just for your first year. Some students will maintain that connection for all 4, but it's just a staff member on campus, someone that can help you get more acclimated. You'll meet with them a couple of times. I'm a CU Connect mentor myself, and it's really just to help assist the student get comfortable in the Clarkson community, helping them find tutoring, helping them find jobs on campus, things like that. And we've seen that has a great effect on maintaining our students for all 4 years and getting them off on the right foot as freshmen here. We require at Clarkson that when you apply to one of our majors or list your top 2 choices for major. If you're still exploring, one of the options can be business studies, which all students that are applying to the business school, you'll come in as a business studies student. Engineering studies, liberal studies, science studies, and then university studies, if you're truly undecided in what you want to major in at Clarkson. Here now we'll talk about student life. So we have over 200 clubs and organizations to get involved in at Clarkson. For athletics, we're known as the Golden Knights. We're Division III in all athletics besides men's and women's ice hockey, which we are Division I in. We also have Greek life, 9 fraternities and 4 sororities, as well as plenty of leadership opportunities, student government, professional societies, honor societies. We also have business startups because our business school has you participate in the Young Innovators Program. We also have special events because of the associated colleges in St. Lawrence Valley. We're able to get larger performers for concerts, people like Little Yachty, the Chainsmokers, Mr. Wise, which you wouldn't expect in the area because each school is small individually. But again, because the schools are connected, we're able to do bigger things for the students. One of the things that makes Clarkson unique is that we require professional experience for our students. Those are listed below. Co-ops, which are full-time, always paid, internships, usually over the summer, research opportunities for our bio and our Institute for Sustainable Environment students, and then study abroad is required for our business students as well. Clarkson students regularly earn one of the highest rates of internships, co-ops, and research positions across the US. After Clarkson, students are Clarkson ranked in the top 40 in the country, top 5 in the state for early career earnings. $64,200 is the median salary of alums with 0 to 5 years of experience. And our 97% placement rate is one of the highest in the nation as well. And one fun fact is 1 of every 5 Clarkson graduates is a CEO, president, senior executive, or owner of a company. A little bit about admissions as well. We are a regular decision and early decision school, which is that binding agreement as well that Stevens talked about previously. Our requirements are a transcript. We are optional for the SAT or ACT, and 2 letters of recommendation are required as well. You're automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, and we do have separate applications for scholarships that are specialty as well. One thing to know is that our specialty scholarships do have the same deadline as our application deadlines. So if you're an early decision applicant, those specialty scholarship deadlines are at December 1st. If you're a regular decision applicant, those specialty scholarship deadlines are January 15th. Over 90% of our students receive some type of aid, and we do not, and FAFSA is required for need-based aid. Finally, you can contact us on Facebook, Clarkson University, at Clarkson University on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, and then at our admission page, has an admission page at Clarkson U Admissions. If you guys have any questions, I'll feel free to answer those in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just want to remind everyone, if you have any questions, please utilize that Q&A question at the bottom of your screen. We'd now like to turn over to Johns Hopkins University.
Thank you all very much. My name is Bailey Jacqueline. I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Johns Hopkins University. Excited to welcome you to our 6 minutes within the program here. We are the nation's very first research institution, the first one to move beyond teaching what was already known, accepted truths, and to begin to ask new questions, identify new problems to solve, new social issues to address, and then take those solutions off of our campus and apply them in a real world context. We live this institutional mission to this day to create knowledge for the world. And we believe that it's through a combination of hands-on learning experiences and interdisciplinary and diverse undergraduate curriculum and the strength of perspectives and different experiences that of our students that we're able to continue this legacy to this day. We are a medium-sized institution at the undergraduate level. Got about 5,300 undergraduate students. And as you can see, they're incredibly academically diverse. At the undergraduate level, we have 2 schools, the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences and the Whiting School of Engineering. And first-year students apply to the university as a whole, with the exception of one program, which is biomedical engineering. And if you have any questions about that, you can drop them in the Q&A for us. But even students in our biomedical engineering program are part of this diverse undergraduate experience, taking classes across the academic spectrum, for we are a liberal arts philosophy institution. Students take classes in the humanities and social behavioral sciences, in the natural sciences, in engineering and quantitative reasoning, but they do so through an open curriculum where their academic voice is heard. They are able to chart their own academic pathway, whether they know exactly what they want to do. They can dive into those classes and really develop those interests that they've begun to practice with in high school, or try new experiences, branch out and challenge yourself in new ways with peers of diverse backgrounds and academic interests. No class is going to be full of students from any one particular academic background. So you're going to be challenged. You're going to have your horizons broad and really have the opportunity to learn from the best and brightest undergraduate students, lending their own unique perspectives to your experience. We believe that learning is also not meant to only be contained within a classroom space. As the nation's first research institution, we aim to make hands-on experiences accessible to all of our students. 97% of our undergraduate students report having at least one hands-on learning experience, be that research, internships, study abroad, service learning, job shadowing, any way that they are moving from the theoretical within the classroom to the applied without. They are making very real and lasting contributions to the academic, social, and professional landscapes. They're able to do this with such accessibility because of our relationship or positioning within the broader Johns Hopkins University network. You can see some of those campuses listed up there on your screen. Students perhaps doing research or internships at Johns Hopkins Medical School, students in our public health major in their 4th year taking classes at the Bloomberg School of Public Health, opportunities for students to take accelerated master's programs in business or in public health or in international studies, really leveraging the reach of a vast research entity with the small school support and connections of being 5,300 undergraduate students. You have a lot of opportunity to get to know those that are supporting you on this journey. Being a mid-sized campus, we're also in a mid-sized city. We are in Baltimore City. We are an urban institution, and we get a bit of that best of both worlds feel. We have a traditional campus where we are residential for our students' first 2 years. That's the Homewood campus that you see in the north part of your screen. But we also are in an urban environment, which means that our students have the opportunities for professional development, experiential learning, cultural impact in our hometown of Baltimore. We are joined by many other institutions. One of our neighbors you'll hear about in a couple of institutions later on this call. And we get to partner together and have an opportunity to allow our students to engage in the city as part of a broader college town network so that our students get to call Baltimore as much of their home and their undergraduate experience as the Homewood campus is itself. When thinking about our undergraduate institution, obviously academics are a large part of our students' experience, but we are here to teach the whole person with over 350 student-led organizations. And I'm very intentional when I say student-led. I mean that our campus culture is for the students, by the students, our students who are eager to take the initiative to make an impact on our campus, perhaps in experiences that they've taken advantage of in their high school years, maybe in community service or athletics or the performing arts, or branching off into new opportunities, exploring their cultural identity, having an opportunity to make an impact in our local community. By being student-led, we're putting our students first. They are the ones who get to really call the shots and create that full, robust life that is inclusive of academics and growing as a whole person. All of this comes together as our students are looking for the next step in their undergraduate career. And through our center called our Life Design Lab, formerly known as our Career Center, our life design educators help our students make sense of the intersections of their classwork, experiential learning, opportunities for growth and development in student life to propel them to that next step after graduation, be that graduate school, entering the workforce, or a long-term research or fellowship position. You can see on our screen, our students have many options available to them through that combination of liberal arts learning, hands-on experiences, and their student life. These dates that you'll see on your screen are from last year, but they'll be similar for the upcoming years. We are an early decision and regular decision institution. We have early decision in 2 rounds. They're both binding. You'll find that one that works for you based upon when you're ready to apply. If you'd like to consider your options, we do have a regular decision round due in early January. That one is not binding, and you'll have the opportunity, should you be admitted, to decide by May 1 if you are interested in enrolling. You'll see our deadlines for financial aid on here as well. And the big piece of financial aid is that we offer 100% need met, need blind, no loan financial aid packages for our domestic students. So if you go onto our website, you'll be able to learn more about how we can bring the best and brightest to our campus, regardless of their family's financial circumstances.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's move on to our next school, which is Harvey Mudd College.
Hang on just a second. Sorry about this. I got the wrong thing going here. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get back to the beginning. We are an interesting school in Southern California. So good weather, you can be outdoors almost all the time. We're about an hour from the ocean, about an hour and a half from Palm Springs in the desert. We're about 40 minutes from the world's biggest human trap built by a mouse. That's Disneyland. A lot of great food, a lot of good opportunities there. Sorry, I just got a phone call that I'm trying to get past. All right, so in where we're located is a valley about 35 miles east of Los Angeles. And we're marked by this interesting consortium of colleges, 7 schools in total, 5 of them serving undergraduates, 2 serving graduate students exclusively. So by being a student at one college, you can and will take classes, eat meals at these other schools. You also, I invite you to think about this as if you have a cousin who lives next door to you, and you're going to go to their house to celebrate their birthday. They're going to come play with your toys, but the rules are different in your house than in your cousin's house. And I think that kind of each college has its own personality in this group, but we're separated by, like, this is about an 8-minute walk from Harvey Mudd College here to Pomona. So this consortium is really special. Harvey Mudd within this group is distinguished because we're a STEM institution. We're also a liberal arts institution. There are very few high-powered liberal arts colleges that are so focused on STEM and are so accomplished at it. We're also quite diverse student body. The first year's class has precisely 1 more male student than female. It's about 15% African American. It's about 23% Latinx. We're very close to be a Hispanic serving institution. It's about 9% international students. It's blended and intentional. This mission, I hope, is one of our key takeaways about the institution. This is a really important piece to know. We want our students to be willing to ask themselves important questions about the STEM that they're producing. Is this feasible economically? Is it culturally sensitive? Is it ethical? What other disciplines might it impact? We're a liberal arts college, and we house all of our STEM disciplines within that philosophy. So part of that means that the academic program is married to this mission. And in brief, this is some highlights of it. Every student will complete a common core curriculum. This is not an open curriculum at the start. This actually prevents you from selecting a major in your first year. You cannot select a major in your first year. You will eventually select a major. You will also take about 35% of your courses specifically in the humanities, social sciences, and arts. This core curriculum means that you'll do a lot of collaborative work. If you're having difficulty with a linear algebra class, literally the entire student body can help you with that assignment, because every sophomore, junior, and senior has completed it, and every first-year student is in the class with you. So we think of ourselves as the geek Marines. Don't leave anyone behind. I mentioned every student must take courses in the humanities, social sciences, and arts. This includes taking just short of a minor, we call it a concentration, in some field that's not in STEM. This could be done at Harvey Mudd College. It could be done at our neighboring colleges in Claremont. The majors are distinctive as well. There are few, there are only 10. They're either going to be disciplinary specific, but they're very broad-based. You'll note we have one major for biology, not a separate major for marine biology, and another one for molecular. Or they're combination majors, which are not double majors, but are designed so students don't have as heavy a course load to complete a combination of majors. And this one in particular, I think, is really unusual. You will not find a similar one at very many institutions. We can pull this off because all of our students have the background mathematically and computationally to do this. So this approach, this broad-based approach, puts a lot of pressure on us to offer a lot of high-end courses, which we do, even though we're an undergraduate institution, but also every student at our school will do research. We can start you early. We have set-asides for first-year students. We hire about 250 of our students to do research during the summertime, and we'll pay them to do that. But every student does a capstone experience of either a senior thesis or this signature program called Clinic, which in brief, we have company and maybe national labs and think tank sponsors of live projects that our students are assembled into teams of 5 to 6 to solve. And these companies have paid us and they want return on their investment. So our students provide a deliverable. And if that company's name is Toyota or SpaceX or Amazon, you're going to deliver the goods. And that plays out very nicely in what our students do after they graduate. We have one of the highest, if not the very highest, median salary for students who graduated. We have historically been one of the top schools in the United States in sending a high proportion of its graduates to PhD programs, so on and so forth. But the best part is the people. If you're eager for Greek life, you'll have to be content with math and physics, because that's where you'll see deltas and epsilons and sigmas and gammas. We have a unwritten rule in our dining hall that every table can accommodate n+1, which I rather like. We're governed by a student-led honor code. It's a very tight-knit community of about 900 students, but about 6,000 you'd have accessible to you by simply crossing the street at the other colleges. Like many others, we have both early decision and regular decision. We are not particularly hung up on your numbers. We are going to be SAT or ACT test optional next year. We will be, we have not yet decided about 2024. The few things that we have specific requirements about have to do with your curricular preparation here, and that we specify 2 teacher recommendations in completely different areas of the curriculum. We are need blind in our selection process. Our default rate on student loans is 0, and we have several merit scholarships. Most of those you may not apply for, only 3 that you can. And with that, I will put some of this information in the chat, and you can hear from UMBC next. But thank you.
Thank you very much. We'd now like to have the University of Maryland, Baltimore County present.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's do it. This is the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. My name is Samantha Sullivan. I am an undergraduate admissions counselor here. This is some of my contact information that I wanted to share with you before I get started, and I will also paste it in the chat so that you guys can have that and get in contact with me at any time. Okay, let's jump right in. So, UMBC is located about 15 minutes outside of Baltimore City. So we are very close to Johns Hopkins. Hey, we're also nestled in between two suburbs with lots of restaurants and shops and cafes and cool places to hang out. But this is our 500-acre campus. And as you can tell, the campus is one big circle. But have no fear, to get from one end to the other, it takes about 10-15 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. So I'm just going to highlight two locations on this map here. The first one is going to be the UMBC Event Center. So this is a new Coliseum-style center where we host our graduation ceremonies, and we also host all of our sporting events like basketball. We also have concerts that happen there and other expos throughout the year. So a very cool place to gather for students. And another place that I'm going to highlight is here, the Interdisciplinary Life Sciences building. This building is new. It is one of my favorite buildings on campus because of a large 3D mural that we have in the lobby there. But something else that's really cool about this building is that all of the classrooms are built in a way that does not follow the traditional lecture style hall. Instead, we have round table classrooms, and we encourage interactive learning with lots of labs and other things like that. Even though this is called the Life Sciences building, it is actually interdisciplinary, which means that you could have any one of your classes in this building. All you need is your professor to ask for permission first. Okay, there are so many great things about this campus, but with so little time, I'm going to jump on to the next. Let's look at UMBC at a glance. So we are a medium-sized college with about 11,000 students in our undergraduate program and about 4,000 in our graduate programs. We have over 60 majors to choose from, as well as pre-professional tracks like pre-nursing, pre-medicine, pre-veterinary medicine, for example. And there are over 250 clubs and organizations on campus. That includes Greek life. All of our varsity athletics are Division I, but we also offer club sports that travel and play other universities. But if you just want to play a sport for fun, we also have intramural level sports as well. Something very important is how to apply to UMBC. So for our first year applicants, we exclusively use the Common Application. So along with your Common App, you will need to include an official high school transcript and up to 2 letters of recommendation. And that can be from anyone in your life, from a mentor to a teacher to a coach, someone that knows you really well and is able to speak to your character. That's what we're looking for there. For fall 2022, we are test optional, which means that if you decide to send in your scores, if you think that's going to help your application, you absolutely may, but it is not mandatory to do that. We have not decided yet if we will be test optional for 2023, but we will be sending out communication about that as soon as we reach a decision. Now, we do have 2 important deadlines to talk about here. The early action deadline is November 1st. This is a non-binding deadline. So basically what this means is that you will be guaranteed consideration for merit scholarships if you apply in the early action. So we ask that everyone try to apply early action. It can't hurt you, it can only help you. So regular decision is the other important deadline, and that is February 1st. All right. something that we all want to talk about, financial aid and scholarships. We have our own financial aid and scholarships office. Here is their contact information. I will also post that in the chat to get directly in contact with them. We offer financial aid, scholars programs, and merit scholarships. So with our scholars programs, there are 9 different ones, and they all give the students a better way to engage with other students who are in similar disciplines, and they have some perks as well. So definitely look into that. Again, the merit scholarships are awarded to students who apply early action and students who earn merit credit. Okay, so let's go on now to our Strive Scan QR code and my contact information. Thank you all so much for listening to my presentation about UMBC. I am so excited to be here with you. Here's my email. Please send me an email with any questions that you might have. And I will again paste that in the chat for you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for that. And we have our last college and university, the University of Michigan.
Hey everybody, give me 1 second here to go ahead and get the slideshow up. Oh, that's not the right button. Whew, it's been a day, folks. There we go. All right, so my name is Brian Cusack. I'm a recruitment coordinator at the University of Michigan. This is my 4th year working in the admissions office and 2nd year working with students from Maryland. So I'm very excited to virtually meet you all today. Before we get started, I do want to quickly go over our land acknowledgement as an institution. So the University of Michigan was founded in 1817, but also in 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the single largest land transfer to the early University of Michigan to the Fort Meigs so that their children could be educated. We want to acknowledge and reaffirm their ancestral and contemporary ties to the land and their profound contributions to the University of Michigan itself. So for those of you who haven't been up to Ann Arbor before, we're kind of located right here. If you're looking at a map, like 45 minutes west of Detroit, about 45 minutes north of Ohio. Ann Arbor is consistently rated as being one of the best college towns in America and one of the best college sports towns in the US. It's a really good mix of a big city feel and a small town environment, or a big city with small town feel, however you want to delineate that. We have about 150,000 residents who are not students at the University of Michigan, which is great because it means that throughout the year, there's always things to do in Ann Arbor. We have over 300 restaurants for you to try. If you're here over the summer, you can go kayaking down the Huron River, which kind of bisects the town and the university itself. You can also go sledding in the fall, which is a great way to get acclimated to the winter, which you will experience a bit more if you do come to the University of Michigan. So the university itself is made up of about 30,000 undergraduate students, about 50-50 split between in-state students and out-of-state students. While that may sound like a large number, our first year class is only about 7,000 students that really come from all corners of the globe. We draw students from every county in Michigan, every state in the US, and about 120 countries from around the world. But more than just being geographically diverse, our students are also ethnically diverse and culturally diverse as well. 14% identify as being the first in their families to attend college, 17% identify as being members of the LGBTQ+ community, 19% are Pell eligible, and 27% of our students identify as students of color. Now, the University of Michigan itself is really made up of 19 different schools and colleges. Of these 19, 14 are open to our undergraduate students, but of those 14, only 7 accept first-year applications. So those are the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, the College of Engineering, the School of Nursing, the School of Kinesiology, the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, the School of Art and Design, and the College of Architecture and Urban Planning. For those of you who are interested in the Ross School of Business, do know that they also accept first-year applications. That process is a little bit more complicated, so we'll leave that aside for right now. But do know that across those 14 undergraduate programs, we offer over 280 different degrees, of which 70% are ranked in the top 10 of their fields nationally, and 90% are ranked in the top 20. So we like to joke that no matter what you end up studying at the University of Michigan, you'll be studying with the leaders and the best in your particular area of interest. Get it? Leaders and best? I will assume that you are all laughing. Anyway, while we are an admittedly large institution with about 30,000 undergraduate students, our student faculty ratio is only 15-1, and 84% of our classes do have fewer than 50 students in them. There's a lot of great ways at Michigan to really personalize your academic experience. And one of those is going to be through research. So we are the #1 public research institution in the US. Each year we have about $1.5 to $1.6 billion in funding for various research projects. And the great thing about research at Michigan is that it's not just limited to graduate students and professors. It's really something you all can get involved in as early as your first year on campus. The way that most of our first year students do that is through the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, otherwise known as UROP, which typically brings in around 1,300 students each year and places them with 800 faculty to work on topics that literally span the academic spectrum. Now, outside of academics, we do recognize that 30, 40 years from now, what you'll remember most about college is probably less the classes you took and more the friends that you made and the sense of community that you felt while you were here. And at Michigan, we have a plethora of ways for you to make the university your home. Probably the most common way, though, is going to be through student organizations. So we'll talk briefly about those. As you can see on the screen, Michigan does have over 1,600 organizations registered with the university. These range from community service organizations to politically active organizations to professional and social business fraternities and sororities. But we're also pretty well known for having a lot of wackier organizations in Michigan as well. We have a squirrel feeding club and an anti-squirrel feeding club. We have a Star Wars fan club, 3 different stand-up comedy clubs. But my personal favorite is that Michigan is actually one of the few institutions to have an actual real-life ice carving team. So if you've ever wanted to take a chainsaw or a flamethrower to a block of ice, you can literally do that as a student at the University of Michigan. But we do ask that you do it safely if you join that particular organization. So how do you apply to Michigan? This past year, we received about 83,000 applications total and 53,000 in early action alone. So it is a pretty competitive process. When we're looking at your application, we're looking at 6 key things: your GPA, the strength of your curriculum, your test scores, if you choose to submit them. More on that in just a second. What you've been involved in as a high school student, your teacher recommendation, singular, we really only want 1, and your essays. Now, for the test scores, Michigan is test flexible. And what that means is if you've taken an ACT or an SAT, we encourage you to submit your score to us. But if you didn't take one or you did take one and you didn't like the score that you got, that's okay. You don't have to submit a test score to us, and that will not negatively impact your application in any way, shape, or form. Another thing that I think is helpful to know too is that we review you within the context of your high school academic environment. So if your school didn't offer any AP or IB classes, we're not going to expect you to have taken those as part of the application process because we'll know that you didn't have that opportunity available to you. So we really are looking for those students who have excelled academically within the context of your own environment as a high school student. Our application deadlines, we have an early action period and a regular decision period. Early action, the deadline is November 1st for early action. And if you apply for early action, we guarantee you a decision sometime in mid to late January. If you don't apply for early action, our last decision deadline is regular decision on February 1st, for which you'll hear back from us sometime in mid to late April. I should probably also mention as well that we accept both the common application or the coalition application. We have absolutely no preference between the two. They both ask for the same information, just in a slightly different order. So we encourage you all to use whichever one you are most comfortable with, because again, either are fine on our end. And a real quick note before I wrap up on financial aid. Our financial aid deadline at Michigan is March 31st. And to be eligible for financial aid, you do have to submit both the FAFSA and the CSS profile. Both of those documents are required. And I should also mention as well that while there is some merit-based aid available at the University of Michigan, the vast majority of aid that the institution awards is need-based rather than merit-based. But there are some merit scholarships you can apply for that are available through individual schools and colleges. So for example, the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, the College of Engineering, they both have their own scholarships offices that have other scholarships that you can apply for. So real quick, before I turn it back over to Greg, because I believe I am out of time, we do have a lot of virtual opportunities. If you're not able to come to campus right now, one that I want to plug is our virtual post-information session Q&As, which are a great way to get your questions answered by current admissions staff and current students at the University of Michigan. You're also free to send me an email too if you'd like to chat. With that, I will turn it back over to Greg. And who do we have next?
Thank you very much to all of our presenters, and thank you to our participants for being here tonight. I just wanted to finalize and say thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back on the schedule and sign up for any additional sessions at strivescan.com. And you will be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/AIMS. And I did put that in the chat. Thank you to everyone for participating and have a wonderful night.